Welcome to the Recruiter Startup Podcast. My name's Dualta, and in this podcast series, I will be interviewing investors, advisors, thought leaders, and recruiters who are based all over the world. And we will be discussing how to set up, scale, and operate a world-class recruitment company. Now, the word lifestyle business is bandied around in our circles, and it's never said in a nice way. But let me tell you, running a lifestyle business is pretty awesome, especially when you have kids and you're not sure if you actually want to set up something to scale. We've had a few experts on the show, and I just wanted to show some of the experiences that I've had. And I went into London to present at the Inspire event run by Louise Triance during the week, mainly just to get out of West Sussex for a day and get away from the kids and the wife and get in and feel that city buzz again. And it was great, landing in Victoria and walking through Buckingham and all the way over to Covent Gardens and just taking in the energy of the city and just feeling how much business and how much fun there is in the city. I really miss that element of my life and working in major cities doing recruitment. So we get in, and the event was great. There was people presenting 5 minutes on something unique in their recruitment business or something that they believe in, and I had some interesting talks. It seems like the industry is moving a little bit more towards flexible working. We're being a bit more understanding about different types of people, and we're embracing ourselves for the technology that's coming along and going to change things. So Alex Moyle, who's running the events, rang me up and said, "Listen, we've had a speaker drop out. Will you come in, and what would you like to talk about?" And I said to him, "Well, I'm not sure, but is there anything in your business that I could help if I spoke about?" And he said, "Look, I'd love to get a virtual assistant. I know you have a team of them. How did you go about that?" And I said, "Okay, well, I'll do that." So I applied Tim Ferriss's principle of the 4-hour working week to our business. And that doesn't mean that I only work 4 hours. It just means that I don't do any administration, and I focus on creating content like this, creating viral content on LinkedIn, managing my team of virtual assistants, and my rest of my day is wide open to speaking to the absolute best recruiters in the market, and all those calls are scheduled. And because of this system we have, I usually have clients wanting to speak to me on a daily basis. But we've been doing this now in the same niche for 3.5 years. So we're pretty happy with the client list we have, but we always try and keep, in tune with whoever the latest and fastest growing startup is, because they can be some of the most exciting clients to work with. So where do I start? Well, I'll start where the presentation took off. So the 4-hour work week, it was written 10 years ago by Tim Ferriss, and he's a productivity expert. And in it, there was a chapter on how to hire, manage, and develop virtual assistants. So we had tried to hire VAs and outsource different things before reading this book, and then we made so many mistakes, but from getting sourcers in India to lots of crazy decisions that I look back on now and I just cringe a little bit. But that was mainly with our resume writing business before we got into the recruitment stuff. So the premise is that we're all really busy, and my life is hectic, as I mentioned, with the kids, the dog, married. We've just bought a house and we're getting renovations done. It's just that real hectic time of life. So and I have to kind of dig in and be here a lot for the family right now. So it's very hard to operate a business and be a good dad and husband at the same time. So something kind of has to give. And what's given for me is the administration. So I don't do any. So some of you might be aware, I run an international rec-to-rec business. So what does that mean? It means there's probably 30 to 50 interviews happening all over the world. Mainly it's UK recruiters moving abroad, or Irish recruiters moving abroad, or Australian recruiters moving abroad, or potentially they're moving locally. But there's a lot of stuff happening in different time zones between Australia, America, Asia, and Europe. And that means there's a tremendous amount of administration and coordination that has to happen to make this whole machine run smoothly. And the only thing that I believe in this is that all consultation should come through me. So if anybody wants advice or wants to talk about their career, or a client wants advice or wants to talk about who's out there and all the rest, they need to be speaking to me, nobody else. But will the email be delivered by me? Will my resume be formatted? Will things be scheduled? Not a chance. No way. No interest in that. So we've established I'm busy, you're all busy. So how can we get rid of some of that unnecessary administration from our plate? Okay. So I was able to do it by applying some of the principles from this book and working on my business for the last 3 years instead of in it. And the key point that I'm going to speak about right now is delegation. All right. So what do you do when you want to get a virtual assistant? So the first thing we want to do is we want to record what we do on a daily basis. And, you know, what I mean by that is I want you to process map each bit that you go about. So some of you might have more structured businesses than others. So like in the morning, if you're making calls, if you're scheduling interviews, if you're sending out resumes, like talk about the different steps within that, write them all down and work out what your job, what the detailed instructions look like. So what type of stuff could you outsource? Well, you can outsource most of your LinkedIn. You know, that's LinkedIn building, LinkedIn management, the stuff that you see people posting through Hootsuite, that can all be automated. Your diary management, massive one. You know, like I really want my diary open so I can speak to the best people in the market or the most interesting companies. The scheduling of the interviews is massive. That is about 20 hours a week and it's gone from my plate, which is just the most amazing thing. Getting feedback, follow-ups, all of that, when it's done by email, can be automated, but you need to be involved. Now, this is a really contentious point in my process, and I've figured out little ways to make sure that the experience is better, and we use WhatsApp to map out the experience of the candidate and the client, and I'm always available in that if they need extra detail or if things aren't covered. But it's taken me a while to get to that point. But if you're running a 360 recruitment agency, part of what you'll be thinking when I'm speaking right now is you're going to go, well, I don't want my recruiters to lose those touch points because that's excuses for them to ask for jobs, for them to do this, for them to do that. Okay, that's an old mindset, and it's kind of annoying when people are calling up trying to build relationship to get more sales. Like, try and figure it more along the lines of creating a joint branding partnership with your client, doing events together, doing podcasts together, doing videos together, helping them from an advisory standpoint and a branding standpoint, as opposed to hassling them for extra jobs. But it's a mindset difference. It might not suit you, but you can definitely use some of this. Just depends on what your comfort level is to how much you want to do. Okay, so next bit, we want to write the job description. So as I just alluded to, we're looking for a recruitment administrator. You need to put down everything that you do on paper that isn't speaking or meeting candidates and clients. And that's real simple. And I wouldn't outsource any original content either, unless you're going to pay massive money and it's going to be done awesome. And most of us don't have the budget for that. Okay, so the next piece then is we've written a detailed job description. Don't expect to get all of that in the one go. So, we're looking to build up a resource over time, and we need to have these detailed job descriptions that are very simple. So start with maybe one task at a time. So it might be formatting a resume, and it might be doing up the profile email that goes with that resume. And you'll have a template ready for them to do it. But that's just one task. And maybe that's taking you 5 hours a week. So that's 5 hours that you get back. And I wouldn't have hands free with any of it at any stage. I would always have the final draft sent to you, have a look at it, tweak a couple of little things, add your own interpersonal thing, and away it goes. Okay, so decide on the profile of what you're looking for. Well, we stumbled upon Andrea 2 years ago. She's a work from home mom. She's married to a doctor. She's based in Ireland. She's from Romania. And she didn't have the skill set we were looking for at the time, but Charlotte just really liked her, thought there was something there, and thought she was smart. And it's just worked out for us. So we've kind of developed the profile of what we look for based around that success. And Irina's come on 6 months later, 6 months ago or 7 months ago. And she's also from Eastern Europe. She's based over in Serbia. And she wants to be more of a recruiter eventually. So we're working her skill set up to that point, hopefully in the next period of time. But again, smart, from Eastern Europe. And where do we find them? Well, we go to freelancer websites like Upwork. And usually when you're on there, it'll give you some awesome options. Too many good options, to be honest, when you put your ad up. So it's really important to clearly have some things that you're going to rule out people for. I like to start with people who haven't actually had much experience on the platform, who are new to it, but who have a decent LinkedIn profile and have a decent education background. And then, look, we just do a standard first stage interview. And then the second stage is a working interview. So the working interview, you want to give them tasks. Might be like 4 hours of tasks, and you pay them for it. So you want to work out something simple like formatting a resume, give your instructions and time it. And then they send it back, and then you're like, okay, that's fine. Right, give them more work or give them additional tasks and really get the productivity up there. So at the start, I would go with 10 hours just for the first week and make sure that everything's done excellent. And once you're happy with that, and you have all your checks and balances in place, so make sure you're really tight on the quality of the work and the amount of work that's being done, because over time we want to give them more tasks and we want to add quality to their work. And once we get them up and running and they're awesome and they're doing 20 to 30 hours a week for you, then you'll find that they start understanding your business after a while. So encourage them to ask you questions all the time, but make sure that they're taking on board the answers, so they're thinking for themselves and able to grow and learn as recruiters. And that again comes down to how capable the person is that you're hiring. So the girls that I hire are really smart and they're really great, and they can do the whole piece. They can do the whole piece with the client, and they can do a large part of the piece with the candidate. But I'm involved on every stage, just not on the administration. Okay, so what's left? Are you hands free? Are you like that Uber driver who's going through the city, and just able to not worry about driving? It's not really like that. You really need to be still on it. I have a daily or every second day meeting with the girls where we go through all the standard stuff that every other agency does. And, I check every little piece along the way. But essentially, my day is free to do lots of content and to draw people in from LinkedIn. And it's also free to speak to those people at the suitable times that they want to. So like from 11 to 1 and from 5 till 7. And then, look, I tend to do a little bit of client stuff first thing in the morning and last thing in the evening. And I record a podcast every day if I can. And then we promote that. Okay. So I haven't really gone through like everything that they can do for you, but think of everything except for the conversations and the meetings and the content. And that's a tremendous amount. Okay, so the next thing we have to worry about is automation and technology. And we want to get to a point where we have an army of virtual assistants supporting us, but we also are using the best technology. And I have a guy coming on the podcast called Alex Glenn, and he is going to develop some scripts for me, and we're going to test it out on the podcast to see what technology out there can help us run our business a bit more intelligently and at scale. All right. So if you want to know any more about this, hit me up. I'm more than happy to send you the presentation I did, or if you just want to chat about it. I mean, it's not an area I'm selling, or I'm selling virtual assistants. I've no interest in that. Just enjoy finding ways to be more productive with our business so I can focus on the stuff that I really enjoy, and that's the consultation piece. And I'm sure it is for you too, deep down. When you do the consultation piece, you're able to change somebody's direction in their career and whatever else it is, and speak to clients and know exactly what they need because you're the expert in it. That's the good piece, not the administration. And I suppose the other side to this is I'm not going to burn out because I'm doing the stuff I like to do in the business, and I'm able to work on it instead of being stuck in it with spreadsheets and all the rest. So that's it. Hopefully you took some value from that, and you've had a great week, and you've made lots of money, and you're enjoying this boom in the recruitment market that we're all on. And we will be back with another guest next week. Take care, God bless, and go get some.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.